Okay, so after applying 3390, we are at the stage prachana. Now we need 6419, which says chvoho shudanu nasike cha. The Vritya Sutram says satukasya chasya vasya cha kramat sha ut इत्यादेशौ स्तोनुनासिके क्वौ जलादौ च kiniti. Anavritti of kvi jaloho kiniti is coming down from 6415. So here we have two items being replaced, and the items being replaced are first the chakaraha along with the augment tuk. The augment tuk is prescribed by 6173 checha. So that augment tuk, of course the ending kakara is it by halantyam, ukara is it by upadeshejananasika tasya lopaha, and then the takaraha changes to a chakaraha by stosh chunash chuho. So in the sutram, the cha which is mentioned, that is really the chakaraha with the augment tuk. The takara has become a chakaraha by 8440. Stosh chunash chuho. So that is one item to be replaced. The second one is the vakaraha. And there are two replacements. The first one is the talavya shakaraha. The second one is the term called ut. In the ut, the ending thakara is a it vahalantyam tasya lopaha. So really it's a ukaraha with the marker thakaraha. Panini uses this thakara as a marker in the ut so that he can refer to this particular term ut in the Sutram 6189. So there Panini refers to this ut. So this thakara as it is to distinguish this ukaraha, so that Panini can refer to it in 6189. Now we have two items to be replaced and we have two replacements. So recall the Sutram 1310, which reads Yatha Sankhyam Anodeshas Samanam, which means that when we have an equal number of terms to be replaced and an equal number of replacements, then the replacements are done respectively. So here in our case, the chakaraha along with the tuk is replaced by the talavya shakaraha, and the vakara is replaced by ut. So replacements are done respectively as per 1310. Yatha sankhyam anudeshas samanam. So the condition is that this chakaraha with the tuk or the vakaraha should be followed by any one of the following three. The first one is any affix which begins with a nasal, which is what we have right now. We have the affix nang following, which begins with a nakara, which is a nasal sound. So that is the first condition. Or it should be followed by the affix qui. Qui means it could be quip or quin. So any kind of qui affix should follow. Or the third condition is that any affix which begins with a letter of the jal pratyaharaha and is marked either by a kakara or a ngakara. It should be a kit or a nyit, but beginning with a jal pratyahara letter. Right now we have the affix nang. It is a nyit, but doesn't begin with the letter of the jal pratyahara. So condition 3 is not satisfied here, but condition 1 is satisfied here. So this Sutram 6419 applies when any one of these three conditions is satisfied. So in our example, what do we have right now? We have prachana. So we do have a chakaraha with the augment tuk, which has become a chakaraha by 8440, and the pratyaya which is following is na, which begins with a nasal. So now 6419 applies and we replace the chakaraha with the tuk by a talavya shakaraha. So we get prashna. Now at this point 8440 should have applied to replace the nakaraha by the corresponding cha vargaha, nasal nyakaraha, but that does not happen because of the sutram shat. The nishedha sutram shat says that when following a talavya shakaraha, a letter of the ta vargaha is not replaced by letter of the cha vargaha. So this stops 8440 from applying, and we get the final form prashna. So here 8440 is stopped by 8444 shat. The prashna gets a pradipadika sanya by krit, that is a samasascha, declined like ram shabdaha. Let's take a second example of this sutram. Let's take the example syutaha, a sack, something which is stitched, in this case a sack, derived from the verbal root siv, which is shivu tantu santane. tantu santane from the divadiganaha. The second verbal root in the divadiganaha is same as in English, siv is to sue. Now the beginning murdhanya shakara of the verbal root is replaced by a dantya sakara as per dhattvadesha saha. The ending ukara is a nasal, it's a it by upadeshe jananasika it and takes lopaha by 139. So we have siv plus we add the affix kta by 3 to 102 nishtha. We know as per 1126 ktaktavatu nishtha. Here we add the affix kta. It's being used right now karmani because the affix kta can only be used bhavi or karmani as per 3470. So that which is stitched is syuta. So we continue with derivation here. We remove the kakara which is a it by lashakvata dite then tasya lopaha. So we have sivta. Now at this point the augment it would have come by 7 to 35 ardhadhatukasya valadehe, but that is stopped because this verbal root shivu has ukara as a it, and therefore by 7 to 56 uditova we know that the affix ktva when following a verbal root which is a udit, it takes the augment it optionally, and because of that 7 to 15 yasya vibhasha stops the idagamaha in the case of anishtha pratyaya. So basically yasya vibhasha 7 to 15 with the help of 7 to 56 stops the augment it. So 7 to 56 has the optionality, and that enables 7 to 15 to prevent the nishtha affix from taking the augment it. So there's no idagamaha here. And now what happens is that now we can apply 6419 because we do have pratyaha, the pratyaha kta, which begins with a jal letter, the takaraha, it's a kit pratyaha, and we do have a vakaraha prior to it. So all the conditions for applying 6419 are satisfied. So bring in the substitution oot in place of va. So we get si oot ta. Now the ending takara of oot is a it by halantyam then tasya lopaha, and then we apply iku and achi, replace the ikara by yakara, and we get syuta, and syuta gets the pradipadika sanya by kritta dita samasascha 1 to 46. So syutaha is used to denote a sack, a bag, that which is stitched.